Hello you demons and happy Friday. Today we're going to be going over the nightmarish fish that live in the ocean, but stay tuned because at the end I have a really cool story that you guys might like to hear. So without further ado, let's get started. Number one is the viper fish. Now these fish are known for their terrifyingly large teeth and their weirdly hinged jaws. And these fish live in the tropical areas about 1,000 to 5,000 meters deep. These terrifying fish can be anywhere from 12 to 23.5 inches long, and they use something similar to anglerfish called photophores to lure their prey in before they rush in and charge it for an attack. To give you an estimation of just how fast these things are, they go 11 feet per second in the water. Yes, 11 feet per second. That fast. That is horrifying. That is like nothing but a blur in the ocean. Strangely enough, in captivity, these fish live only about a few hours, but out in the ocean, they live up to be 40 years old. I think it might have to do something with like the stress that the fish go through, but I still think it's kind of amazing to see the difference in lifespan. The natural predator of these fish are going to be sharks and some species of dolphins. Meanwhile, the prey of this fish is going to be some small crustaceans or just smaller fish in general. Now, luckily for these guys, because they live so deep, not only do they have a really slow metabolism to the point where they've learned to survive with very little food, but they will not ever see a human in any sort of like normal condition. So you'd really have to go down there in like a submarine or some specialized deep diving suit in order to see these terrifying guys. Next up on our list are pyrosomes. Now, these giant groups of microorganisms are known for just looking like big tubes of plastic floating in the ocean. But upon closer inspection, you can see the tiny little cells that these guys are made out of. These guys live in tropical climates, anywhere from the shallow to the deeper parts of the ocean. These giant pyrosomes can get up to be 60 feet long, but are made up of only tiny little zooids that are only millimeters long, which is incredible thinking about how many just go into one pyrosome. Now, because these are more of microorganisms, they have absolutely no way of propelling themselves through the water, and instead just go with the current. Literally, they just go with the flow of their existence. And because of their shape, they kind of go through this thing that's similar to filter feeding, where they have the water go through the tube. They then get all of the microscopic plants or like phytoplankton that live inside of that water and then proceed to eat that and use that for nutrients. Now, some more interesting facts about this thing, aside from the fact that it looks like a giant floating plastic tube in the ocean, is that they are actually bioluminescent and produce a green light that apparently could be seen from meters away. On top of that, researchers have little to no information on this unicorn of the sea, as they call it. One other interesting fact about this group of zooids is that they've been described as feeling as fluffy as a feather boa. Now, this doesn't take away from the scariness of it, the fact that it looks like it can just eat you and swallow you whole, like some sort of finger trap for a human being to be trapped in the middle of. Now, to get a little more creepy, we have next the gulper eel. This guy is horrifying to look at and is known for its hinged jaw and pelican-like abilities. Gulper eels are known to live 500 to 3,000 meters deep in the oceans of Portugal. Now, because they live so deep, their bodies are extremely fragile when taken up out of the water, making them incredibly difficult to research for scientists. If these guys weren't terrifying enough, these guys can grow up to 2.5 feet long. Luckily, their diet mostly consists of cephalopods and small invertebrates. And oddly enough, the male's teeth just disintegrate as they grow older. Meanwhile, the female's teeth stay completely fine. Luckily, because they live so deep, us humans over here living in the beaches and not going very deep in the water will never see one unless we go looking for one. Now, that doesn't mean I would not still poop my pants if I went on a dive and saw one of these things swimming by me or at me. But I will say, I think I might laugh if I saw one looking like this swimming by me. Now on to a bit more of a cool looking fish called the barrel eye. This one is known for its transparent head to where you can see its eyeballs straight through. These guys are known to live in the Atlantic waters 600 to 800 meters down, and were actually believed to have fixed eyes that were just pointed straight ahead until scientists discovered that apparently they have an entire 180 full view of their eyes, allowing them to see prey or predators in about that much to that much range, which is incredible. On top of having an amazing range of vision, these guys are able to find the crustaceans or the jellies that they eat in pitch black environments. But these guys can grow only to be about 4 inches in length, which is weirdly small. I'm not gonna lie, if somebody made this thing into like a nightlight we can get, I would totally buy one. Alright, back to the nightmares. Up next is the black sea devil. If it wasn't already obvious, this nightmare gets its name from its terrifying appearance and is a relative of the anglerfish. Unfortunately, these guys are found in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Ocean temperate waters about 2,000 meters down. Similar to how Mother Nature decided to hate the male gulper eels and have their teeth disintegrate, these black sea devil males can only grow up to be about an inch or less than an inch big. Meanwhile, the females can grow up to be 7 inches in length. Similar to anglerfish, these black sea devils have a bulb to attract their prey, but that bulb is activated by, funny enough, bacteria, so not only does it look nasty, but what makes it grow is nasty. Aside from that pretty light, there is absolutely nothing aesthetically saving about this creature that looks like it was an anglerfish that did copious amounts of meth. Continuing on with these terrors is the sarcastic fringe head, known for its horrifying appearance and predator-like jaws. Unfortunately, for people who live on the west coast of America, these guys are located only 10 to 240 feet deep in Baja California, so you definitely have a chance to meet these disgusting looking creatures that can grow up to be 6 to 8 inches long. While humans aren't their anticipated prey, these terrifying creatures can still use their teeth to protect their territory. When it comes to a territory battle between two of these fish, all they do is seem to do this weird makeout session where they kind of push each other around and make themselves seem bigger with their mouths. Now, with their mouths closed, these guys look like any other normal fish, but once they open up that giant net of teeth, that's when the nightmare fuel happens. Now, these guys' movements have been described as dart-like or extremely quick and short. These sarcastic fringe heads have been observed living anywhere from holes in the sand to tiny bottles, so anywhere is really a good place to live for these guys. Their prey mainly consist of squids, so sorry Squidward, but you're gonna have to face this nightmare for us. Once its habitat is chosen, nothing dare swim by it lest it meet the wrath of the net of teeth, is what I'll call it. I rate this fish about 4 out of 5 yellow pool pea spots. Before we move on to the next nightmare, I would love for you guys to leave a like on the video, don't forget to subscribe to Demon's Corner, and leave a comment down below on a fish that I may have missed, or maybe one of your favorite ones. I have enough for a part 2, so if you comment down below which one that you would like to see, I would love to get to it. Now, on to the next one. Up next, we have this prehistoric beast thought to be extinct called the frilled shark. Frilled sharks have been observed living in the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean about 120 meters to 1,280 meters deep. Its body is said to be up to 6.6 feet long and was only recently discovered in Portugal despite being over 80 million years old as a species. Its diet consists of cephalopods and other smaller sharks, and its movements are actually said to be more eel-like rather than a shark's normal back and forth motion. Around nighttime, these guys are said to feed more towards the surface level of the ocean. But can we just talk about the fact of how old it is and how we thought it was originally extinct? This is exactly why I keep my mind open about many of the things that could exist or be a possibility of existing on this channel. Surprisingly enough, despite being recently discovered, there's a lot known about the composition of its fins and many technical things like that. That's just how most horror movies start, you know, you just go swimming and you see a prehistoric shark coming at you like an eel rather than just a normal back and forth thing. However, lucky for us, they are rarely ever seen by normal humans outside of just strict research and actually going in to find these guys. Up next is the Bathisia confera, aka the flying spaghetti monster. Now, imagine you take an eldritch horror, then you put it in the ocean, then you get this guy right here. This gangle of what looks to be seaweed was discovered 1,325 meters deep in the Atlantic Ocean. Upon closer inspection of this corpse wrapped in seaweed looking thing, it is, again, those guys zooids. Similar to the pyrosome, this thing does not propel itself, but it simply floats, which makes it a little creepier if you ask me. And these guys have actually been observed to be carnivorous, feeding on small cephalopods or even crustacean, which adds that little hint of just spooky. But there's nothing to worry about. These guys may look creepy, but they are known to be completely harmless to humans. On top of that, they are located so deep that we're not even going to see them, much like the other terrifying fish on this list. However, they were first discovered by oil workers, which is completely terrifying. Could you imagine being on the job, seeing that thing? Like, what would you do? I know personally, I would just hand in my 2 weeks notice and say, I'm good, I'm done, I don't want to look at that thing anymore. That computer is cursed, burn it. Up next, we have a nightmare that you will not be able to notice until it's 1 foot away from your face, called a northern stargazer. These terrifying jack-o'-lantern looking creatures are known to be on the east coast of the United States in the deep Chesapeake Bay. Now these guys can be up to 22 inches in length, unfortunately, so these are some big looking demons. Its main prey consists of crabs, fish, and other crustaceans, and it gets its name from the fact that its eyes are on the top of its head rather than the sides like other fish. Its scientific name is Astroscopus astratatus. Yeah, I think I'm saying that last part right. It mainly translates to one who stares at the stars. On top of that cool fact, these fish are known to be able to burrow in the sand in seconds. Something you wouldn't expect from this fish is the way that it wards off predators and captures its prey. It actually delivers an electric shock. I'm gonna stay here on the west coast where we have, we have fringe heads. You're never safe. Just don't live near the ocean. Boom, problem solved. Up next, we have this toothy nightmare called the payara, or the vampire fish. This is located near the Amazonian basin in South America. These vampire fish have been observed to be 1.7 to 3.8 feet in length. Now, if that wasn't scary enough, these fish, their prey mostly consist of smaller fish or piranhas. You know it's messed up once its prey is a terrifying predator. The fangs on the vampire fish can be 4 to 6 inches in length, and because of this, the fish are actually born with holes in their head to help fit their teeth in their own mouth. Its Greek name, Hydrolycus scambroides, actually translates to wolf mackerel. Now, lucky for us, there haven't actually been any recorded cases of these guys ever attacking another human. Whew, sigh of relief on that one. Little research has actually been done on these vampire fish, aside from the fact that they have no known predators and are said to taste very bad, which is weird, because why do we decide to eat things that just look terrifying? Like, can we just let it be creepy in its own nightmare realm? Congratulations, you have made it to the end of the video. Now we can get on to our bonus story. This one is about alien bases located off the coast of Malibu, which is on the west coast of the United States. These alien bases have been located about 6 miles off the coast of California by Point Doom. Now, funny enough, this area is actually said to have a lot of UFO and I guess extraterrestrial activity. The stadium-like structure is said to be about 2,000 feet below the waters and to be about 2.5 to 3 miles wide. You yourself can actually see this on Google Earth if you type in the coordinates. Those who aren't paranormally inclined have said this is actually due to California's fault line, and this is known as a thrust fault, apparently. Former FBI specialist Ben Hansen investigated this and said that this can actually be narrowed down to either shoddy computer rendering or overenthusiastic UFO enthusiast. This kind of sounds like a we can neither confirm nor deny sort of situation, if you know what I mean. Personally, I'm kind of split about this hypothesis because weirder things have come into existence, like the frilled shark, so it could be anything from extraterrestrials to a fault line. Either one kind of just seems probable. I'm more leaning towards the fault line, if anything. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, please feel free to leave a like down there below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Demon's Corner content. And please, I would love to hear you guys down there in the comments to let me know what your favorite fish was, or maybe one you'd like to see in the part 2. And as always, stay spooky, everybody. Bye-bye.